on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.
Hi, Baton Rouge and District 10, the district where we sit at this present moment. I say, I'm Carolyn R. Coleman, Councilwoman in this great district, and I welcome you to the Coleman Cares podcast, where we do our level best to educate the people. And along that note, if you have anything that would be for the good of educating folk, feel free to reach out to us, and then we can definitely get that resource in here, because we want everybody to be knowledgeable of what's going on. And so today, I sit here with a young man and we go way, way back. And this young man is Joshond Cook. Joshond and I met at a high school years ago. And so from that point on, Josh has been doing his thing. I've been doing my thing. And then here we are back together again. So Josh, I want you to tell the people about the student that I met at Belaire High School, and how you have evolved since then. What have you done since then? Where you are since then? That was then, this is now, and I know growth has happened.
Let me go back. Belaire days. Okay, so I went to Belaire days. I went to Belaire from 9th through 11th grade. So my 9th grade year, it was like a big jump coming from middle school to high school. So that big transition, it was like, okay, I'm with the big kids now. I'm with the big kids. I remember the uniforms. We had all white uniforms, and it was just being amazing. It was like a sign of maturity, a sign of becoming an adult. So me going to class, they had way more activities than middle school. You can get involved in any type of things. But as a kid growing up in high school, Belaire, it was I was evolving, and I was just doing what I knew and going to class, being myself. Sometimes I got in trouble, and I learned from it and went back to class, met Miss Coleman. But when I met Miss Coleman, she took a liking to me, because it wasn't like just no administrator type bond. It was like a more of a love bond, like a family bond, and like a I'm gonna look out for you bond, but you gotta play your part type. So I graduated 10th, go to 11th, and each grade I go to is just like, it was just getting more serious. It's just getting more serious, especially when I'm gonna say when 11th grade came and got more serious, and I just started seeing, my eyes was really on the seniors, like just seeing them just leaving, and I knew each grade I was getting closer to being a senior, and I knew one day it was gonna be my time. And like I said, I was evolving, and every time I moved to the next grade level, I was getting closer to that 12th grade. And I just knew I had to buckle down and do what I had to do with what I had. But like I say, Miss Coleman, I always stood there by her student's side. And one thing, if we had something personal, she always, she can figure it out. She peep it out. She see it in your face, pull you to the side. But with all that being said, like I'm evolving. Where I'm at now, I appreciate everything what I've been through, every obstacle, every hurdle I done jumped, everything that I done seen, I done learn from it, because some people ain't really, they didn't went through it, but they ain't get a chance. I'm gonna say they ain't really take heed to learn from it. So I noticed that I ain't want to live like that. I know what they come with, and So I just, did what I had to do to stay out of trouble, stay to myself, and here I am now.
There you go. So that's wisdom. Josh has always been a student that I thought was before his time. He had the mature look. He operated in that vein, and so today, when I connected back with Josh and had a conversation with him, and when he talked about being a student in pilot school, I said, wow, this is something that not many students are approaching. And so what first got you interested in flying and made you decide that you want to pursue becoming a pilot, Josh?
To be honest, I was first off, I was always motivated with anything. But when I first started a career, what career was, my first job, I think, my first career, I was working offshore. I was doing that for a long time, for some years, and I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I got offshore and I started driving trucks. But to give y'all a rundown, I always paid attention. I always had a discernment spirit. I always paid attention. And if it made sense to me, I'ma do it. That's just how I was rocking. If it made sense to me, I'ma do it. If I seen somebody else doing it, I'ma do it. If leading me the right direction. So the real story behind everything is it was through a jail call. My uncle, he incarcerated. His name Joshond Cook, and he always was like, cause he'll tell me like things. He'll tell me from his mistakes.
Yes.
And he had friends who then got out of prison and changed their lives, and they'll be doing good for themselves. So he'll stay in contact with them and be like, Josh, look, this my homeboy. He doing this thing. So look, I'm gonna give you his number. You stay in contact with him, and he gonna give you the ropes. He gonna tell you everything you need to do. You just need to follow it. Just go with it. So I started driving trucks. Left offshore, started driving trucks. I was driving trucks for about 2 years, and then I never forget, I was driving chemical trucks. We had to go refill a man's RV truck. And we had to go fill his truck up, and I noticed he had a hanger. And I never knew what none of this was until that day. He had a hanger, and we lifted up the garage door on the hanger. We lifted up the door, and he had 3 helicopters, 3 sitting side by side. One was getting worked on, and one was service. Two was service, and the RV was next to it. And I'm always used to seeing like aircrafts in the sky. I never was able to touch aircraft. So when I was able to touch it, I had dozed off for a minute, and I started looking around. And when I started looking around, I'm like, if this man owns these, what makes him different from me? So I started just thinking. We filled up the man RV, and I was getting trained at the time. So we filled up his RV, and so we was going to the next stop. So I'm sitting on the passenger seat, and my trainer, I talked to my trainer. I'm like, you think I can be a pilot? And I never forget, he looked at me and told me, say, man, do whatever you want to do. You still young. Do what you want to do. From that moment, it took me like 2 to 3 months to do my networking. And that's why I say it, I always go back to a jail call. My uncle was on the phone one time, and he made a call to somebody, and that person made a call to somebody, and that person called me. And before you know it, within like the first 6 months of the beginning stage, I was on a Zoom meeting with like 12 different other pilots, and I was the lit brother of them all. And everybody embraced me. Oh, this is what you do. Stay with it. Cause I kid you not, when I first got on the Zoom call, like the first week I'm on the Zoom call, I started taking notes by notes, just overfilling my brain. They like, look, slow down. You ain't gonna learn. You ain't gonna learn everything like that. Just take your time. Take your time with it.
Yes.
So that's what I did. And after that, I took my discovery flight. A discovery flight is based off of They take you up in the air. You ride with a CFI, a commercial flight instructor. You ride with a CFI or whatever, and they see if you like it. So somebody certified, they see if you like it or whatever. Once they see if you like it, well, if you say that you like it, then you go on from there. And I say that's what I wanted to do, and that's where I'm at right now.
What has been the most challenging part of flight training thus far? The most challenging part of your flight to become a pilot?
Just I'm gonna say just finding that person to really work with you, because you're gonna go through different instructors. You gotta find somebody who connect with you, because some of them in it for their reason to build their flight hours. They have all their type of reasons, but if somebody draw a liking into you and be like, oh, I'm gonna help this kid, I'm gonna help this young man, it's just about finding the right people, and then never burn bridges. Don't never burn bridges, and understand that we all brothers and sisters in this career. So the challenging is just finding the right instructor, finding the right person.
Financing?
Financing, see, I'm working right now, so I'm working to be able to pay my own personal bills and to support my schooling. And, I'm not like the other kids who inherited, got money, or uncles or grandpas was in it already. So with the finances, every bit of change that I have left over, I put it into aviation. And so sometimes I will be in class and I will see some people come in after me, and I see them come in and pass me up due to they having more resources than me. So I see them and I just be like, but I still root them on. But that's just, I do it myself. It's independent.
Yes, indeed. And so, but your overall goal in this aviation, and where do you hope that this will be able to, where you'll be able to go in the future? What do you see about this aviation, flying a plane or a helicopter or whatever? I'm gonna tell you, you got more heart than me. Yeah. I can tell you that. But tell the listening audience out there, and it is my hope that young as well as the not so young is listening to this, because there are lessons to hear and learn in what Josh is sharing today.
I'm gonna say, to be honest, you're not gonna be able to do nothing if you don't put God first. You have to build a connection with him, understand who Jesus is. And when everything started popping out for me at the Most High, I ran to the church house because I didn't understand what was going on. It scared me. Some people go to him when they low and they need him. Now I ran to him when I got scared. So I'm like, Jesus, what you trying to show me? But it's not about me. It's about the impact. I do want to go, one day I am going to either go commercial or jets, one or the other. But the moral of the story is about the impact. So if I can drop the breadcrumbs for the next person, next male or female to pick it up and grasp up on it and see, because you don't have to be a rapper, you don't have to be in the streets. Everything I got was to become successful is hard work and putting Jesus first. I'm telling you, if you don't have Jesus first, anything you ever trying to do, it's gonna crumble. So I just want people to see the impact. If you see in me, notice it's not me. It's God just using me as a vessel to pour into somebody else, so you can fall in line. And you know what? I thought the sky was the limit, but the sky is not the limit. The other day, I was in the airport. How about I seen a young woman, right? An astronaut. The sky is not the limit no more. I met her, me and her talked back and forth. I was surprised. I was starstruck. I didn't know we was in space like that. Yes,
Yes.
And this was the other day.
Yeah.
So the sky is not the limit. And I'm telling you, once you get in that type of career, whatever career you in, you start building relationships. And then you started noticing like the people who used to hang with, who used to really ain't mean you no good, they gonna start disappearing. And you're gonna start really surrounding your phone. Your contact list gonna be with nothing but people who can benefit off of. Telling you. So you're gonna get around the right people, and the people gonna, they want to see you win.
Yes.
They want to see the next person win. So I just want people to know, just put Jesus first. And I want y'all to know it's not about me. It's about the impact. And it's about Jesus Christ. And you have to understand that he really walked this earth. That's what I want. That's what my story is about. Yeah.
Y'all heard? Y'all heard Joshond Cook. Joshond is a student pilot. And I had the gentleman from the school. What's the name of the school where you attend?
BTR. I go to BTR Jets. Sometimes I fly out of the Gulf Coast Aviation. I'm all over. And regional airport in Gonzales.
And so there's we reached out to the gentleman because, see, I am of the opinion whatever you start, you need to finish if that's what's in you, if that's resting on you. And so he works, has a little girl, gotta do that, gotta take care of his own. And so, and he has begun pilot school. So there's nothing left but for Josh to finish that pilot school. And so I just, and you heard him say that he has to take care of himself and that he, the extra, after he has taken care of his business, he puts that away. It may not be much, but guess what? It's much because he's learning how to save, how to take care of business, how to take care of his child, called juggling, in my opinion, the whole 9 yards. And so, reached out to the school where Josh has attended, but it's kind of at a standstill right now, listening audience, because of funds. And so I'm going to take this opportunity here to ask the listening audience to consider helping Josh to fulfill that goal that he has, and he says that he's going to reach that goal. And so, Josh, I'm going to ask these folk out here to meet me with a pledge for you, because you've got to get back to pilot school and you've got to finish it. And Baton Rouge, we always talk about us wanting to get behind our young people, push our young people. You got a young man here, record is clean, doesn't do drugs, goes to work, the whole 9 yards, and then has a dream. What more can we ask for? He's responsible, not using any excuses.
Child of God.
Okay, there you heard him. A child of God, and you heard him say what he say. So I'm going to ask that you all would reach out and make a pledge to Joshond Cook Pilot School, the bucket there, in order to help Josh fulfill his dream. And so, Josh, tell the folk how they can get in touch with you. They already know how to get in touch with me. Tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, you can get in touch with me through my business phone, 985 area code 323-7282. I have a Cash App, $, all caps, $MULEAZY. For anybody trying to sponsor me, anybody trying to help out, if you have it on your heart, anything will help. For me.
Repeat that again, and I want you to repeat it slowly so that they can hear that.
Okay, so my telephone number, if anybody wants to reach out and help or sponsor, you can call me at 985 area code 323-7282. My cash app is $MULEAZY, all capitalized. MULEAZY. That's just for anybody who, have it on their heart, who want to sponsor, who want to donate or whatever, because I promise you, I will finish. If it's the last thing I do, I will finish. I will finish.
I heard him. It can't be the last thing he does, because when he finishes this, then we're going to have a pilot here that we can say that we have sown into his life and it has become actualized, and then we'll all be at the graduation.
Oh, most definitely.
For sure, for sure. How long is that that class there? Talk to me about the length of getting through school.
And the good thing about it is a lot of people don't know that it's a trade. It's a trade, so it's dealing with your funding habits and how well you pick up on it. So it goes by you. Really, it goes by you. There's no time limit. It goes by you.
All right. So, Baton Rouge, District 10, you heard Josh. And so the next time that Josh returns here, then it's going to be Pilot Joshond Cook. Yeah, you heard it, Baton Rouge. And so as we close, we want to remind you to share and subscribe, especially this, because we need your support. Joshond Cook, the pilot. So we want to thank you for joining us. And earlier, Josh, guess what? I know it's doable. Earlier, we had a physical therapist with her, and she was a graduate of Belaire High School. And one thing about those students at Belaire High, they were not afraid of working. And so that was one thing about it. I had the privilege of being there at Belaire High School, some of the best years of my life. And so I want to thank you all for joining us today and keeping Joshond Cook, the pilot, before you. And I want you to remember that Coleman cares.
Count on Coleman. Count on Coleman. If your world is looking strange, you can count on Coleman for change.